Old Folks Racing PS4. This is round 5 and round 6 of this league, right here in Mojave Coyote News. A short oval that even has a right turn. There is no pit lane, no qualifying, it's a random grid. We are going to see race 1, Scott Davely is on pole, followed by Diogo Silva, Frank is in third place, Kev Allen, yes, the Kev Allen is also joining the Oval Racing League, is in fourth, and Diogo Almeida is fifth. It's 40 laps, it's a fairly short lap, and let's see who is the king of the desert here at Mojave Coyote News. As we await now for the start of this race, it's a rolling start, and away they go in the Corvette GTE, and it's already some fairly close racing with Diogo Silva jumping into the lead, and someone has spun. Someone has spun, that is Scott Davely has spun. That was a very, very quick spin. He didn't lose that much time as we followed Diogo Silva, who is in third place, now making second. As Frankie has jumped into the lead in turn 1, and he is going to lead the first lap here at Mojave Coyote News in race 1 with that number 49 Chevrolet Corvette, and he's building quite a substantial lead already to this battle that consists of Diogo Silva, Diogo Almeida, Kev Allen in his first ever oval race, and of course Scott Davely, recovering Scott Davely, also has joined this pack right here, and it's a nice battle that we're having. It's a Scott has lost some time again. Let's see if we can figure out what happened to Scott, as he seems to have lost a little bit of time. He's here in 5th place. He still has some time to recover. Of course, we run cautions here in this type of oval races, but we only do that if there are two drivers tangling, not if there is a single driver. And someone has spun off, and that was Diogo Almeida. Let's actually see if we can establish what happened here, because we couldn't quite see the incident, but we are going to try to look at this. Diogo has, I think, spun on his own as well. Or did he? I think he was trying to... did he touch Kev Allen? Yes, they did. They touched, and just the slightest of touches, but Diogo was completely stuck there in turn 1. He had to use the reset button, and as a result he lost a lot of time. So Scott Davely is up to 4th. Kev Allen, who also lost a little bit of time with that incident, is in 3rd. Diogo Silva is in 2nd, and we are going to follow this battle that seems to be the most active battle right here in the circuit, as we are already in lap 4. Let's follow this Chevrolet Corvette GTEs through Mojave as they are approaching yet again. Diogo Silva has made a mistake there in the final corner as they complete yet another lap, and I think this battle is going to heat up between Diogo Silva and Kev Allen. Kev, of course, making his debut in Old Folks Racing Oval Racing League with that classic yellow Corvette, and here he is already in a podium position as the top 3 drivers have opened a little bit of a gap. Let's see what's happening with Scott Davely. He's in 4th, and Diogo Almeida is in 5th. They are running together. Scott with that number 20, and Scott has spun. Scott has spun in the last corner on his own, presses the reset button, but that's yet another incident for Scott. Look at this, the front of his Corvette is already starting to fall off. Of course, visual damage only in this league, just like in the main Old Folks Racing PS4 league. There is no actual damage or performance impacting damage in this league. Now this has generated a battle for 4th place, as Diogo Almeida has now recovered a little bit of ground. Kev Allen in the meantime is a second or so behind Diogo Silva, who continues to chase the leader, and I think they might be just a little bit closer now to both of these drivers, Diogo Silva and Kev Allen, a little bit closer to Frankie, that has actually led every lap so far, and it's already 7 laps completed out of 40. So Frankie doing a great job. Of course, he has had a string of not so good results lately in this league after having won the first race at Daytona, and it would be a great result for him if he can hang on to this lead here in Mojave Coyote News as they come to complete yet another lap. Let's see what the difference is at the front. It is around 1 second between first and second. It's around 2 seconds between second and third, and I think that means that Diogo Silva clearly has the faster pace here, and yes, you can confirm that there in the leaderboard. He's running 32.1s. Everyone else is running 32.2 for Kev Allen, 32.3 for Frankie, the leader, almost the same as Scott Davely, almost the same time to the thousandth of a second, and 32.5 for Diogo Almeida. And look at this now, this is really the battle for the lead here, as we are already in lap 10, the battle between these two drivers for the lead. Let's see if Diogo Silva manages to grab the lead of this race. Of course, he's also the championship leader as it stands, with Diogo Almeida in second place in the point standings. Diogo is stuck in 5th place now, so this could be a good result for Diogo Silva as well to extend his championship lead. He does need, of course, to finish the race ahead of Diogo Almeida. And to some extent the appearance of Kev Allen has thrown a little bit of confusion in the point standing, because Kev is not really racing for points, as he has joined this league only in round 5, but he can be a factor in terms of his race performances, actually preventing other drivers from scoring more points. So he could be a factor as this inaugural Oval Racing League reaches its later stages of this first season. Of course, we're still missing the Indianapolis race with the IndyCar, which is going to be double points, and therefore I'm pretty certain that the championship will remain open after these 2 rounds, whatever the result is. Frankie continues to lead now on lap 13, with Diogo Silva now just under half a second gap between first and second. This is not the easiest circuit to overtake, would you believe it? Because these cars, of course, are the same car with exactly the same setup, and the drivers are more or less balanced in terms of their performance. So it's not the easiest. There are no heavy braking points. There's a possibility to make a dive into turn 1 or make a dive into the last corner. Those would be the most obvious. Oh, Diogo has run right there. Look at this. He's really trying to be as close as possible to Frankie to try to make a move, but not quite close enough to even try, as they are already at the end of lap 14. So we are approaching the midpoint of this race very quickly as we continue to watch this battle. Look at this, Diogo really running wide there in turn 1. He's running a slightly different line through that corner. Kev Allen is in 3rd place. He's a very interested spectator. Let's look at the battle for 4th. Well, they're not quite close. Oh, Diogo Silva has actually taken the lead. I wonder what has happened here, and we'll try to establish what has happened to leader Frankie, as Diogo has gone through exactly when. Oh, and this is what has happened to Frankie. I think that he just got an off-road excursion on his own. Let's see if we can establish here what has happened as they approach the last corner. He just slides into it, and there you go. Slides through the corner and then tries to correct. hits the barrier with his rear wing, loses his rear wing in the process, and loses the lead. Of course, the downforce of the car will remain the same, as damage is only visual, but he has lost his lead of the race. Diogo Silva has gone into the lead. Kev Allen is in second place right now, and they are a little bit closer than before, as Kev now sees an opportunity to actually grab the lead of this race potentially. Let's see if there are any battles in the race. We may need to fast forward it a little bit. Well, look at this now. Kev Allen, lap 18, has reached the back of Diogo Silva. Now we have another battle for the lead, but this time between two drivers that know each other very well from close battle in the main championship. That's Kev Allen and Diogo Silva. Look at this, Kev Allen really aggressive there through the last corner, and I think he's going to try to make a move into turn one. Let's see if that's possible, or whether Diogo is going to be able to resist, and the answer is Diogo is able for now to hold that position. Kev Allen continues to study his opponent throughout this Mojave Coyote News circuit, and I think we may look at this really aggressive line there, an aggressive slide through the last corner, and he's closer than ever now, as they now battle for the lead into turn one, but not quite possible to make a pass at this particular corner in this lap. Look at this, Diogo really running wide. He's running a slightly different line through that basically turns 1 and 2, and then the right-hander. Yet another lap to be completed, as Frankie is now in third place, fourth is Scott Davely, and fifth is Diogo Almeida, and they're now together as well. So this battle for fourth place is heating up quite quickly, and Diogo Almeida really needs to make a move on Scott if he wants to retain any realistic hope of grabbing the lead of the point standings. Of course, he's in second place, following his win at the Monza Oval. And look at this, he's now going to try for the inside of Scott Davely. I think he's got the job done. Yes, he has the job done. They're running side by side, but Diogo did a very good job there indeed of grabbing that fourth place, and maybe, just maybe, he can go after Frankie. Look at this, Scott Davely is spinning again, and he's going to go into the gravel. He's going to go to the gravel. He must be somewhat frustrated with yet another incident, but he is has dropped to fifth place again, and is almost getting left by the leaders. And look at this, Kev Allen has actually grabbed the lead. We haven't really seen that, so I wonder if we can just maybe go back and try to see what has happened here. And yes, I apologize for this. Of course, I reset back into the start, so let's wait for a bit. Yes, I'm sorry about the time it took to get back to where we were. I did press the wrong button, which took us back to the start of the race. Maybe now we can see actually what happened to Diogo Silva and Kev Allen. So we will try to fast forward to the point where Kev grabs the lead of this race. I think it might have been here that he goes for the inside, not quite. Well, this was lap 20, the midpoint of the race. Oh, and here it is. I think Kev is not going for the lead. There you go. At the start of lap 21, he's on the inside for turn 1. He's going to brake later, and that's how he has grabbed the lead of this race. Diogo tries to come back at him, but wasn't really quite successful there. This is the same battle that we saw already with Scott Davely and Diogo Almeida, and Diogo really making a good job here. This is the replay of the pass. And now we are going to see Scott again spinning on his own. There you see, just sliding through the last corner and then ending up in the gravel. Let's see the battle for the lead here. As Kev Allen has run wide into turn 1. Kev Allen has run wide into turn 1, and Diogo Silva is coming back at him now. The battle for the lead is not over in this race at all, as Diogo Silva now is coming back at Kev Allen and trying to go on the inside, but not quite successful at this stage as they complete yet another lap. Oh, look at this, Kev Allen has run wide, and now I think he's gonna lose the position. Diogo Silva is going to go on the outside into turn 1, and they side by side, and Diogo tries to get no, he can't complete the pass. Kev Allen did some very good defending there. Now Diogo comes back on the outside. Diogo Silva comes back on the outside, but couldn't complete the pass yet. They continue to battle. Nice battle there for the lead between these two drivers. Clearly dominant in this race, as they are in lap 25, 15 laps to go. That's not a long time. Look at this, Kev Allen now completely running wide and tries to come back into the racing line, but there was Diogo Silva retaking the lead of this race now with 15 laps to go. Let's make a quick run through the other drivers. Frank in third place, Diogo Almeida in fourth, and Scott Davely now running fifth. The biggest battle is at the front. Let's do a bit of fast forwarding. Kev Allen has not given up on winning this race, as they are now approaching the last 10 laps of the race. And look at that beautiful slide there through turn 1, as he has reduced the gap to Diogo Silva to under a second with 10 laps to go. Frankie continues to be third, 12 seconds away from these drivers, with Diogo Almeida in fourth and Scott Davely in fifth place. Now Kev has actually lost a little bit of time there compared to the previous lap, so we are going to go into fast forward mode again. Joe Almeida here in the picture in 4th place, running on his own. Scott Davis in 5th and about to be left by the leaders, but he's resisting the pressure quite nicely. And the two men at the front continue to run together, but not as close as Kev Allen would like to make a pass. We're going to fast forward mode again. Well, Kev is now definitely closer, but not quite close enough. 5 left to go, and here is a mistake by Diogo Silva in the last corner, and now here comes Kev Allen. Kev Allen is coming back at him, and this is the battle for the lead. Diogo Silva going on the inside to defend the position with 5 laps to go. And look at that, oh, and the 3rd and 4th are together as well. That's a nice battle. Let's see how these two battles are going to turn out. And there's a crash. There's a crash with Scott Davely. Scott Davely has crashed again. As we will now try to see what has happened. Of course, we are in the last 5 laps of this race, so there are no cautions at this point. Let's see if we can establish what happened. I think this was a tangle between Scott and Diogo. Let's see if we can establish what has happened here, as they are battling for 4th place. And Diogo is going to come on the inside of Scott. Let's see, yes, that's what has happened. Diogo, who has lost time now, tries to recover 4th place. They go side by side into turn 2, and there wasn't really that the space. They tangle, Scott spins, and the leaders go through. And luckily, no one else got involved in that accident. As now, with 4 laps to go, Kev Allen is going again for the lead of this race into turn 1. Can he make a move? Yes, he can, and he's going for it, and he makes the move and takes the lead. Takes the lead with, wow, almost loses it, but manages to control the car. And what a maneuver that was by Kev Allen to take the lead and maybe win his first ever oval race. Would you believe it? Diogo is trying to come back at him, but maybe it's a little bit late for a move, and Kev has already opened a gap of around half a second as they enter lap 38. Diogo Silva is really trying everything he has, but I think that Kev Allen has this under control unless he makes a mistake. We are about to enter the penultimate lap, and Kev Allen is going to win the race, followed by Diogo Silva. Frankie is going to be 3rd, and Scott Davely has recovered 4th from Diogo Almeida, because Diogo Almeida has lost time yet again. He is going to finish 5th and probably not be too happy about it. Look at this, Diogo Silva is really trying hard to reduce the gap to Kev Allen, but they are approaching now the final lap. Can he make a dive into this last corner? That doesn't seem to be possible, and he is going to enter the last lap as the leader, as they see the white flag to mean that there is 1 lap to go, and Kev Allen is, I think, has this under control. Just a few more corners to go, and he is going to be the winner of this race, followed by Diogo Silva. Diogo coming back one last time, really running wide there through the right fender, and can he make a final move here? He can't, and Kev Allen now has the win and the checkered flag inside, and Kev Allen wins the race, followed by Diogo Silva. What a race this was. Very, very good battle for the lead during most of the race. Here comes Frankie to take a podium position. That would be a good position for him after some 4th and 5th places in the previous rounds. Scott Davely and Diogo Almeida have been lapped. They have finished 4th and 5th respectively. As this was race 1 here at Morave Coyote News. There's your result. Kev Allen, first race in an oval, first victory. Let's see what happens in race 2 here in Morave Coyote News. It's again a randomized grid with no qualifying. Has nothing to do with the results of race 1. So let's just see what happens in this second race. Again, the format is very similar, 40 laps. Here is the circuit layout. As you can see, there is a right-hander there in the middle of the lap. Otherwise is just a bunch of left turns, but actually quite different turns. Turn 1, of course, it's not a very severe braking point. Turn 2 is actually flat out, and then the last corner is very technical as well. Let's see if we first will present you with the grid, as we have Phil, new joiner here, but of course a familiar face in the Old Folks Racing PS4. He has joined this second race, his first race of the season in Old Folks Racing, and he starts from the lead already, because pole position is of course random. Scott Davely starts on the front row, Kev Allen and Frankie on the second row, Diogo Silva and Diogo Almeida. That will be a nice battle on the third row as they wait for the green lights, and away they go. And we are going to follow the leader Phil into the first corner, and Kev Allen already eyeing the lead into turn 1. Kev Allen is trying to go for the lead, and he gets it and shoves Phil off the road. Frankie also goes or tries to go into second place, but not quite possible because Phil has just shut the door on him, and Phil has spun. Phil has spun. Oh, and there's a crash there. A crash with multiple drivers involved. There's Frankie, there's Diogo Almeida, and there is of course Phil. And I think this is going to be our first caution. Phil just basically lost it right here at the exit of turn 2, sorry, into the right-hander. So we are going to see our first restart of the day, and I think they're going to do another lap because they're still waiting for Phil to recover the ground he has lost and rejoined the pack. So after that incident, Scott Davely is in second place. Diogo Silva has gone into third, and of course the three drivers involved, which were Diogo Almeida, Frankie and Phil, are 4th, 5th and 6th, as we are going to fast forward. And look at this, Phil has actually lost it at the caution, which is unusual, but I think this time he is going to have some time to recover where he is not yet with the pack, but I think he's going to join. Yes, he's coming, so I think we are going to be able to do a restart here. Kev Allen, the winner of race 1, is also in the lead of this race, and now they are going to restart the race at the line. And Kev Allen, is he going to restart? Yes, he is. He's going to restart, and it's a very good restart for Kev Allen into turn 1. Diogo Silva is trying to put some pressure on Scott Davely, but look at this, Kev Allen has just checked out of the entire field. We are going to be forced to follow Scott Davely here, who is in second place with... oh no, and Frankie is in third place. It's not Diogo Silva. Diogo Silva has actually lost time again at the start, like in race 1. Frankie has jumped him into third. Diogo in 4th, and 5th is Diogo Almeida, with Phil now grabbing 5th place, as Diogo is... oh, and someone is off the road. That's not Phil, that's Diogo Almeida. That's not Diogo Almeida, that was Frankie. Frankie has gone off the road here in turn 1. Diogo Almeida has also lost time. He is in 6th and last, as Diogo Silva recovers 3rd, and now eyeing 2nd because Scott Davely is feeling the heat of the number 5 car of Diogo Silva just behind him, as we are already in lap 5, and Diogo running that inside line, which then runs wide into turn 2, but he hasn't managed to grab that second place yet. I wonder what happened to Diogo Almeida. We couldn't quite see the incident, but it seems to be a lonely type of incident. No one else seems to be involved. Frankie has also lost some time by running wide into the gravel in turn 1. Phil maintains now 5th place, but he's now losing that 5th place because he has spun, not quite spun, but lost it in the last corner. So a difficult debut here with the Corvette at the Mojave Coyote News Oval for Phil. He of course likes this car, has raced it very competitively in Old Folks Racing PS4 in the main league last year. Here showing a little bit more difficulties adapting to this oval racing driving style is what I meant to say. Diogo Almeida is in 5th place and is aiming to recover some ground because Frankie is in 4th and 9 seconds ahead on the road. Look at this, Diogo Silva now putting some pressure on Scott Davely. This is for 2nd place, and Diogo is feeling that Kev Allen is running away with the race. Look at that, he's already 3 seconds ahead and he's trying. No, look at this, he's coming on the inside of turn 2 and he's got the job done. I think he's got the job done on Scott, or does he? No, he doesn't. Scott just comes back at him on the outside into the last corner, and Diogo must start to feel a little bit frustrated here with this situation, as he really does not want Kev Allen to run away with the race. But Scott Davely, of course, is not an easy driver to overtake. Now Diogo is trying the same trick again. Let's see if this time he manages to get the position. They're running side by side into the right-hander, and I think he's got the position. Not quite. It's virtually a carbon copy of the previous lap, as now Diogo actually has run side by side in the last corner and is going to try to make a move into turn 1. Didn't quite work. Nice battle here for 2nd place between these two drivers. Very respected drivers in Old Folks Racing PS4, and of course they have raced extensively against one another, as Diogo this time round didn't try the same trick on the inside of turn 2. Instead, I think he wants to try to position the car as close as possible at the exit of the last corner, but is not really working out for him. And Scott Davely has run wide and he has spun. Scott Davely has spun and he's going to lose 3rd position to Frankie, that recovers a podium position, and I think he's going to also lose maybe to Diogo Almeida. Not quite. Scott Davely maintains 4th place, but what a disaster. He was running in such a strong 2nd position and then just lost it on his own in the last corner. So now we have drivers relatively separated on the road, as Kev Allen is leading the race. Diogo Silva in 2nd place, 4.5 seconds behind. Then Scott Davely 13 seconds. Frankie is a second and a bit away from Scott, and Diogo Almeida is not too far behind actually, so this is a nice emerging battle here for 3rd place. Let's fast forward a little bit now, follow the leader and fast forward a little bit, just making sure that nothing is happening in the field. Kev Allen, what a dominant performance here at Mojave Coyote News. Remember that he has not been here before, but of course a talented driver is a talented driver anywhere. And oh, he's run wide, and what a crash. He has had a big off there. Kev Allen, look at that, he presses the reset button, the car is completely smashed, and we are going to have to see what has happened here, because this was a very, very severe incident for Kev Allen, and let's maybe even follow the onboard, because this was quite a heavy crash by Kev Allen, and we couldn't quite see what has happened to him. Let's try the not the cockpit camera, let's try the bonnet camera and see if we can establish here what has happened as he approaches turn 1. Oh, he just slides to the right and then he's just a passenger. Look at that, what an incredible crash. Fortunately he lands the right way around and he immediately presses the reset button and continues to be in second place, but clearly has lost time and has lost a lot of parts in his Corvette as well. Of course, visual damage here, but this almost looks like a NASCAR truck right now, the way that back of that car looks. Has he lost a lot of time? Yes, he has. Diogo Silva now is in the lead of the race, 6 seconds away, and Kev still has 4 seconds gap over Scott Davely, who has taken third from Frankie. We couldn't quite see that, but Scott Davely has put himself back in the podium position with Frankie in fourth and Diogo Almeida again in 5th place, and he's not going to like that, because Diogo Silva, who has finished second in the first race, is now leading the second race as we approach the midpoint of the race. Let's follow the leader here as he laps Phil, who continues to be in 6th place. Let's put a bit of fast forward here and track the gaps there. There is a bit of an emerging battle between Frankie and Diogo Almeida. We should have a look at that, because that's the battle for 4th place. We'll do a bit of fast forward, but we'll maintain the camera here in 4th place man Frankie, as he gets some pressure from Diogo Almeida, who is trying to recover. Look at this, Frankie has run wide there, and Diogo is going to go for a run, and Frankie protects the inside, and he basically retains that 4th place for now. But nice battle here between these two drivers. Yet another lap completed. We are already at the midpoint of the race, and Frankie has run wide there. Frankie has run wide. He has not hit anything, but he has spun now, returning to the track. He's not pressing the reset button, but he prefers to do it the old-fashioned hard way. Very, very heavy visual damage there, and someone is behind him. That is Diogo Silva, who is about to lap him. Diogo is about to lap Frankie, having lapped Phil multiple times. Here is Phil, still in that 6th place, still worth points here in this race. It's round 6 out of 7 of this league. The Indianapolis race still to come in the IndyCar. Let's do a bit of fast forwarding, because not much has happened here. Oh no, Phil has spun again. Phil has spun again, and that has happened multiple times. He's not pressing the reset button. Now he has pressed the reset button, trying to get himself back in this race, and he has run wide again. Let's follow the leader for a bit, and we'll go into fast forward mode, and we'll try to track the gaps so that we don't miss any action on the track. Positions are now relatively stable. There was Diogo Silva. No, that was Kev Allen has spun on his own, and that is a disaster for Kev Allen as Scott Davely now comes and gets second place. Yes, Scott Davely has got into second place with 13 laps to go, as Kev Allen has lost it on his own at the final corner on lap 26. Runs wide again. Diogo Almeida has actually passed Frankie for 4th place, so he's recovered some ground. Scott Davely has spun exactly in the same place that Kev Allen has spun. This is incredible, as Kev Allen goes back into second position and Diogo Almeida has recovered to 3rd, and he's actually eyeing 2nd. Would you believe it? Just a few laps ago Diogo Almeida was in 5th, and now he's in a podium position. Scott Davely is back in 4th place with Frankie in 5th, and Frankie has had an eventful race as well. Diogo Silva is now leading with 14 seconds with 11 laps to go. Kev Allen has recovered 2nd, but that was a little bit of a fright there. For a moment he thought he had lost that runner-up position to Scott Davely, who is now under pressure from Diogo Almeida. Look at this. These two are now battling, and Diogo seems to have better pace right now with around 10 laps to go. Look at this. Phil is getting again lapped, and Diogo Almeida has lost a little bit of time there lapping Phil, but he has recovered now some ground. The top three seem to be relatively, top two, sorry, seem to be relatively stable, so we're going to follow here this battle between Scott Davely and Diogo Almeida in that number 39 Corvette. This is the battle for the last place in the podium. 10 laps to go here at Mojave Coyote News. We are going to follow these two in fast forward mode. And Scott had, oh, and they've crashed. They have crashed again. Scott Davely, let's look at the replay of that. That was Scott losing it in the last corner. Sorry, wrong button again. Let's see if we can establish exactly what happened here. Scott goes a little bit wide in the last corner. There you go, and then jumps right back into Diogo Almeida's pathway. But anyway, he hasn't lost. Oh, and Kev Allen has lost time. I wonder what has happened to Kev Allen. We couldn't quite see, but Diogo Almeida is now in second place, as Kev Allen was having trouble of his own. Exactly, as you can see, this is a carbon copy of Scott's accident. Look at that, he's catapulted into the track, and there is Scott also crashing into Diogo Almeida's pathway, but Diogo is going to incredibly grab second place here with 7 laps to go, and Kev Allen continues to run wide. Diogo Almeida now in second place. Remember, he was 5th just less than 10 laps ago, and that's an incredible performance. And Kev Allen continues to lose time. What has happened to him? What has happened to Kev Allen? And look at that, he's lost it in turn 1, and he is going to spin and hit the barriers. Yes, he has, and then, oh dear, he just presses the reset button and was hit by leader Diogo Silva. Let's look at this from Diogo's perspective, as he was just minding his own business, and look at this, he runs wide in turn 1 and just hits the back of Kev Allen. Incredible development, but fortunately Diogo does not lose his lead, and he's 6 laps away from another victory, which would be his 3rd win of the season after he won both races at Texas. Let's follow the battle for second place. Diogo Almeida is in second place, and that's a great result for him, at least to minimize the loss of points to championship leader Diogo Silva. Scott Davely is in third, and as you can see, the visual damage is progressively repaired automatically as the race progresses. Kev Allen, for example, is back with a proper car after multiple crashes, but he's in fourth place. Frankie is in fifth, and Phil is still in sixth place, but multiple laps behind. Diogo Silva, 4 laps to go. He's about to lap Kev Allen, but the last time he tried to do that, he just hit the back of the British driver. Diogo Almeida is stable in second place, followed by Scott Davely, and I think unless something massive happens, that will be probably it, as these drivers are going to maintain their positions. Most likely in the last 3 laps we are going to go in fast forward mode again. Phil is still on lap 33, so he's 5 laps down the order from leader Diogo Silva. Diogo Silva on lap 39 now. The gap for second place is not that big, but I think 4 seconds in only a couple of laps is a little bit too much for Scott Davely, sorry, to oh, and here is Phil again spinning on his own. That's a big crash right now, and he's going to lose yet another lap in this race, as Diogo Silva is going to, and look at that, Phil is now just running wide in every single corner basically, as Diogo Silva now is on the last lap, and he has lapped Kev Allen, and look at this, he has won yet another race in the Oval Racing League. That's the victory for Diogo Silva. Second place is going to be for Diogo Almeida, with Scott Davely finishing in third place. Kev Allen is going to finish fourth, he's a lap fourth. Frankie is a lap fifth, and Phil has finished in sixth place this race, albeit many laps down. And here is Phil, oh, and he has pressed the reset button one last time, and he's also going to complete the race. That's it from Mojave here. See us, join us this with the race again. Join us next week for the season finale at Indianapolis.